music fan?
Depending on the music, yeah.
So what kinds of music do you like?
I like classic rock.
I like to see what's new. I like rock and roll and hip-hop and things like that.
I like classical and jazz.
When do you usually listen to music?
I used to listen to music whenever I'm waking up in the morning and getting ready, and also whenever I'm getting ready to go out in the evenings. I always listen to music.
So how often do you listen to music?
At least twice a day.
And where are you when you listen to music usually?
In my office or in the car.
Do you go to concerts?
Yes, sometimes.
What concerts do you like to go to?
Classical music and opera.
Do you have a lot of CDs or cassettes?
Yes, quite a lot.
Could you tell me a little bit about the types of music you have?
Well, I like, rock and roll music. I like American music, as a matter of fact.
I don't own very many CDs, but my husband owns lots of CDs, and so I listen to his instead.
Approximately how many CDs do you have?
A few hundred.
Wow, that's a lot. How would you compare yourself with your sister? How are you alike and how are you different? For example, do you like the same kind of music or the same kind of foods?
Well, we do look alike, but apart from that, we're very different. She likes the arts, and I'm more interested in sport.
Well, I would say, first of all, that my sister is much better with money than I am. She can save, whereas I like to spend.
Me and my brother are quite different. I'm much more talkative and he's much more shy, but other than that, I mean, we grew up in the same house, so we love the same food and we listen to the same music pretty much, and we like the same movies. Whenever I go back home, I always watch movies with him and stuff. So
in general, which do you think is better, a small family or a large family?
Well, speaking from personal experience, I would prefer to have a small family like I do. I feel that parents have more time to spend with their children. There's more funds for each child. But at the same time, I can see how a large family could be fun, having a lot of brothers and sisters and large family occasions.
Mm-hmm. So what are the disadvantages of a big family?
It's very hectic. It's very noisy. It's like a train station. There's always people going in and out. So you can never have time alone. And when I do want time alone, I'll have to go out of the house, to jog, do something. So it's very, very crowded, noisy, in and out.
In your opinion, what is healthy food?
I think like a lot of green things like salad and vegetables and fruits are very healthy.
What foods would you consider unhealthy?
Those fast food, potato chips, sodas.
So do you try to eat healthy foods?
I try and eat healthy foods, yes. I don't always succeed, but I try and eat healthy foods.
What's an ideal diet in your opinion?
Well, I would say like potato, vegetables, chicken.
So for example, what might you recommend for a good breakfast?
Good breakfast would probably be an egg, no butter, a little salt and pepper, and maybe a piece of white toast, or wheat toast, excuse me.
So for example, for dinner tonight, what are you thinking about for dinner tonight?
Okay, I may do chicken, broccoli, maybe stir fry, which consists of a lot of vegetables like broccoli, carrot, pepper, beans, string beans. Those are the things that I love to cook.
Okay, how about spicy foods? Are spicy foods okay to eat?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of spicy foods, but I think they're okay to eat.
How about sweet foods?
Sweet foods? You can eat sweet foods if you don't eat too much.
Are you an exercise fan?
Yes, I love to run. I run in the morning before work, and I run on Saturdays and Sundays along the river and through the park.
Are you a fan of exercise?
Not really.
So, Rita, would you consider yourself a couch potato?
No, I'm not a couch potato. Absolutely not. I hate to exercise.
So do you actually have a routine that you follow?
Every day, yes. We go out, I go to the park and meet people who are in my age group. They're 80, 60, 70. We have quite a number of 80s and one 90-year-old. And we either walk or we run for about 3.5 miles.
And I go to the park when I'm not, no, 3 days a week I go to the pool and walk in the water. And the rest of the time I go to the park and walk.
How often do you do Tai Chi?
About once a week.
So do you feel exercise is important?
Yes, I think it's important.
But not enough to do it more than once a week?
Well, to be honest, I'm very lazy. That's why. I wish I could do more exercise. Maybe I should, starting from today.
Do you fly frequently?
Yes, I fly maybe twice a month.
Do you fly frequently?
I do, yes. I travel a lot with my job, so I'm always on an airplane.
What kind of a seat do you request when you fly?
I always want to sit at the aisle so I can stretch my legs.
I prefer to sit in the back of the plane in a window seat.
I always get a window seat.
Why?
I like to sleep and I need something to lean up against.
So, have you had any problems with traveling in terms of delayed flights, missing flights, anything like that?
Yes, I have. I've missed a flight. Flights have been canceled. They've been delayed. I've had to either go home, or if it's in a city where I'm not from, I've had to get a hotel.
So could you tell me your worst airplane travel nightmare?
Yes, when I had to fly from Austria to America, I got stuck in London airport and had to wait 10 hours for a flight that got postponed, first canceled and postponed, and all the stores were closed, and all we could do was just sleep on benches and on the floor and try to find food that was not very good. So it was not a good experience.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yes, it was awful.
Do you have a favorite genre of movie?
I love drama. I love comedy, but my favorite is drama.
Do you think there's too much violence in movies?
I think sometimes some films portray violence a little too graphically, but I feel that if it helps the plot along and there's sort of a point to the violence, then it's okay, but unnecessary violence really turns me off.
So do you choose to go see movies if you know they're going to be violent?
I usually tend to see films that get good reviews or are by filmmakers whom I admire. I don't think violence would really, sway me one way or the other.
Do you ever go to see violent movies yourself?
Yes, I've seen violent movies, thrillers and movies of that nature.
Can violent movies be dangerous?
I think people are dangerous. I don't know that movies are dangerous.
Should children be allowed to see violent movies?
No, I don't think children need to be watching violent movies, no.
What's your feeling about violence? Is it harmful, particularly to children?
I think violence is harmful, especially in movies. Children of certain ages should not see violent movies because they're a little more influential and don't have the judgment skills that adults do.
Could you tell me some of the things that are important to you in a hotel, such as a fitness center or a pool, a gift shop, a restaurant, a business center?
I look more for a location in a hotel than anything else. I want it to be close and convenient to whatever I'm doing in town. If I'm there to enjoy myself, for example, then I want to be near the beach. So location is more important to me than anything else.
I don't pay too much attention to the hotel.
She likes one bed. She doesn't like twin beds.
But I'm not a big fan of hotels. If they're comfortable, I'm happy with it.
When you stay in a hotel, do you use room service?
No, I try not to use room service because I like to get out and see a little bit of the town or the city that I'm staying in.
Thinking about a really good hotel experience, could you tell me about that?
Really what makes a hotel special is are the people who work there. If people there are very nice and friendly and people say good morning and know you by name, and they when you come back to the hotel they greet you and they ask you how your day was, and they just make the difference. If when I stayed in a hotel I had a bellman bring me flowers that were left over and put them in my room, and those are those little touches that I think make your experience or you stay in a hotel much more pleasant than when you just stay anywhere else.
How about a worst hotel experience?
Well, I have had experiences on more than one occasion where I've been in a room next to people that are rather noisy, and so that can be a distraction, especially when you've got to be up early in the morning.
Who are you most like in terms of personality?
My mother.
And why do you say that?
Outgoing. She smiles a lot.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
One brother, three sisters.
Okay, and how are you different? Is, say, one more extroverted than the other or more introverted?
Well, I'm quiet, calm. I don't really get excited over things and just take it easy. I don't let things bother me a lot. While my sisters, they will get excited and get upset, and so I'm not like that.
Okay, how about first children? Do you think that they have certain traits that they share?
Well, I think my brother, being the oldest and the only boy, was allowed to get away with things a lot more than my sister and I. And what I mean by that is, as the oldest and as a boy, he was able to go to concerts at an earlier age than my sister or I. He kind of got out of household duties that my sister and I had because he was babysitting us.
And how about if you're the last in a big family? Do you think that you get special benefits from that?
Yeah, you get clothes.
What about birth order? Do you think that makes a difference who's the oldest and who's the youngest?
I don't think so.
Not important.
I don't think it's important. It's just the personality.
If you got a bill in a restaurant that was obviously wrong, what would you do?
I would tell the waitress and ask her if everything's okay.
I think they should tell the waiter.
And what should they tell them?
That they're given too much change or they're undercharged.
How about if a person's shopping in a department store and an expensive piece of clothing has a tag on it that's obviously wrong, it's priced too low. Should that person tell the cashier or just pay for it?
I usually ask. That's me though. Well, I would go to the cashier, or I think everybody should go to the cashier at least and ask, is that right? And if he says it's right, then at least you tried it.
And then suppose you found some cash on the street, not in a wallet, just some cash lying on the street. What would you do with it?
I pick it up and put it in my pocket.
I usually do not pick up money if a very poor person is around, because I think a poor person needs it more than I do. So I leave it lying there.
So are the three situations, the restaurant, the department store, and the cash on the street, the same or different?
I think each one is different.
Why?
You make judgments all the time, and not everything is equal.
Are you traditional in your medical ideas? That is, do you kind of believe in Western medicine, or do you like to explore non-traditional treatments such as acupuncture or homeopathic medicine?
I don't explore non-traditional treatments as much as I would probably like to. I think there's probably a lot of merit in them, and they haven't been studied enough.
I'm more traditional than anything else in my medication or my medical practices.
I'm more for the naturalistic approach. I like, more natural herbal medicines.
In your opinion, what are the advantages of traditional Western medicine and surgery?
I think the enormous amount of research and proven fact that's behind our medicine. Just makes me feel more comfortable with it.
What do you see as maybe some disadvantages of Western medicine?
I think at times Western medicine can make the problem worse in trying to make problems better.
Are there any non-traditional therapies that you use?
I drink a lot of tea, actually, so I guess that's pretty non-traditional.
Usually when I feel myself coming down with something, I will take an echinacea, which is an herbal medicine. Prior, drink a lot of orange juice, since vitamin C helps you. But if I feel really sick, then I'll take a cough medicine.
Could you tell me what your career or occupation is?
I'm an elementary school teacher.
My career path will be in marketing, helping companies build their brand and help market products to the general consumer.
I work in television, and I would like to eventually produce and direct.
Did you think that you'd be in marketing when you were a child?
No. I thought I'd be President of the United States or drive a fire truck.
What made teaching a good career for you?
First of all, I love children, and I liked the idea of imparting some of my knowledge to young ones.
Everybody has skills, talents, and abilities. So, you know, some people are artistic, others have mechanical ability. What would you say are some of your skills?
I would say I have a lot of artistic ability. I did a lot of art in school.
Good question. My skills and talents would be coming up with new ideas, different ideas, creative ideas that kind of build a buzz around a product.
Do you think that talents and abilities are genetic?
I think they're a combination of both genetics and environment. I think that you are born with certain qualities that your parents, I think, have, and just living with the people around you and learning from your teachers and those that you're constantly interacting with, you pick up certain skills.
You're from Germany. What is a wedding like in Germany?
Well, first of all, you have to have a civil ceremony where you go to the city hall, and you make everything official. And then traditionally you go to church and have the religious ceremony.
And is there a wedding reception afterward?
Usually there is, of course. After church, when everybody's waiting for the groom and the bride coming out and throwing rice at them and flowers, and then the whole crew is going to a nice place, having dinner and having a party.
You mentioned that your family's originally from Ghana.
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about the courtship and marriage ceremonies of your country?
There is a traditional, sometimes they do involve like the American type of wedding, the very traditional, you walk down the aisle, but they also, there is also the traditional part in African culture. And you wear the clothing, the outfits, it's much longer. Sometimes it can go into the next day. Some people it extends.
Tell me about the reception.
They find a place to go to, or it's outside. Sometimes it's a big tent. Like, it just depends on the bride and groom and what they want. And there's tons of dancing, traditional dancing, eating, lots of food. Sometimes you have somebody come in and talk about how they know him and how good he is and what he's done, and people giving thoughts of wisdom of how to be together, and it's just really a great thing.
How do you feel about prohibiting smoking indoors?
As a smoker, I don't appreciate it all the time, but I can understand why.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. If you go to restaurants and nobody can smoke, the food tastes better and your clothes don't smell.
How about censorship of books or movies by a government?
I am 100% against censorship of any books or movies or any expression of creativity. And I feel that when governments try to censor books or movies, then it creates a sort of atmosphere of fear, and people don't get to don't have ready access to information that should be available to them.
If you could tell me maybe 2 things that you think are big problems in the world today.
I think one of the biggest problems is war, and I think another big problem is racism in this world.
And of those, could you tell me, a little bit more about what you think could be done to alleviate these problems?
I think actually with both problems, it's mostly about understanding each other and sitting down on a table and talk and get to know each other and be able to make more compromises and understand different cultures and reasons why people do certain things certain ways. And I think we would all be much happier.
Communication.
Communication, that's the clue, exactly. Yeah.